Join me as I dig deep to uncover the real reasons behind Thanksgiving celebrations. Can I get to the bottom of it all? Thanksgiving is one of the most popular holidays in the United States, with origins that date back to the early 17th century. We all know the story, or at least we think we do. The Pilgrims, the Native Americans, the big feast, and the celebration of gratitude. But let's be real, there's more to it than just that. Many of us were taught that the first Thanksgiving was a single event that took place in 1621, where the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe came together to celebrate a successful harvest. But that's far from the truth. The reality is that the Wampanoag had already experienced significant loss and devastation due to the arrival of European settlers, and that so-called First Thanksgiving was more of a rare instance of peace in an otherwise tumultuous period. It's also important to recognize that this narrative has been heavily sanitized and glamorized over time. We often gloss over the trauma and violence that Native Americans faced and instead choose to focus on the feel-good story of different cultures coming together. The true story is much more complex and messy, and it's time we start acknowledging that. Furthermore, this romanticized narrative has had real-world consequences. It's contributed to the erasure of Native American voices and experiences, and has reinforced harmful stereotypes about indigenous peoples. By perpetuating this myth, we're actively participating in the suppression of Native American history and culture. Thanksgiving has its roots in European harvest festivals, which were common in England and other parts of Europe. As European settlers arrived in the Americas, they brought these traditions with them. Over time, harvest celebrations evolved and merged with existing Native American harvest festivals. Today, different cultures around the world have their own unique ways of celebrating the harvest season. In Canada, for example, Thanksgiving is celebrated on the second Monday in October, and is often associated with autumn leaves and pumpkin pie. In Germany, they have Erntedankfest, which dates back to the 16th century. And in Japan, they have Kinro Kansha no Hai, a labor Thanksgiving day that honors the hard work and contributions of Japanese citizens. The history of Thanksgiving is complex and multifaceted, reflecting the diverse cultural influences of the Americas. It's time we start recognizing and celebrating this diversity, rather than relying on a simplistic and sanitized narrative. So, what's the main insight that challenges the traditional narrative of Thanksgiving? It's this. The voices and experiences of Native Americans have been systematically erased and marginalized. It's time we start listening to and centering their stories, rather than perpetuating a myth that has caused harm and trauma for centuries. By acknowledging the full history of Thanksgiving, we can work towards a more inclusive and nuanced understanding of this holiday. It's not about rejecting or dismissing the idea of gratitude and celebration, but about recognizing the complex cultural and historical context in which it operates. In conclusion, let's take a step back and re-examine what we think we know about Thanksgiving. Let's acknowledge the voices that have been silenced, and celebrate the diversity and richness of cultures around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. If you're interested in exploring more cultural celebrations and traditions, be sure to check out our next video on that topic.